All right, so it's Saturday. That means it's time to talk about college football. And for the second straight week, the Florida Gators have been a really fun offense to watch. So I figured that would be the topic for today. We would cover the trio that is making noise in the NFL draft community. And starting first with the quarterback, Kyle Trask. Today, very good day versus South Carolina, 21 for 29, 298 yards, four scores, and an interception. First pick on the year. 2020 totals 51 for 71, 71.8 completion percentage, 684 yards, 10 touchdowns, one interception. Trask was somebody coming into the season that was on the radar, but I wasn't really ready to sort of, um, you know, and not that I'm doing it now, but wasn't really somebody that was ready to be gun ho about, if you will. But so far, he's looked the part. He really has. Now, I don't know if it's the competition. South Carolina is not the most intimidating team or defense in the world, but it might just be that Florida has gotten better, and Kyle Trask has gotten better. I mean, he wasn't bad last year, 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, so he's on pace to do really good things this year. And if that pace continues, maybe he sneaks into the first round. I don't know. Um, Now, the most interesting part is the part that I've left blank, is the draft ranking at the bottom here. Where can I envision Kyle Trask getting drafted right now? And that's pretty tough. Now, the quarterback situation is basically the first three, and then who else? I mean, I think we've reached sort of a conclusion as of right now, barring anything wild happening this season. We still have yet to see Justin Fields play. Trey Lance is playing today, right now, as I record this, but it's kind of a meh game for him. So maybe he ends up regretting that. But based on the talent and what we've seen, Trevor Lawrence is definitely your quarterback one. And then you've got Justin Fields and Trey Lance battling for QB2. So that leaves quarterback 4 wide open. Now, going into the season, I thought Brock Purdy makes sense. He fits the profile. But his first, couple of games have just been not good. It just hasn't been good. So I think he slid out of that spot for me. So QB4 is wide open. Last weekend we talked a lot about KJ Costello with his record-breaking performance in his first SEC game. Chase Bryce has been a nice surprise for Duke, so maybe we see another Duke quarterback this year, a la Daniel Jones. But I think for right now, there's still a lot of football to go. But for right now, after 2 weeks, he's impressed me enough that I'm going to give Kyle Trask the QB4 honors. Does that mean he's a first-round pick? I don't know. I don't know if there's 4 quarterbacks going in this first round this year. There might be. It's definitely a possibility. But I think if you don't have a top 10 pick, you're probably not getting one of the big 3 names. I think they're all gone by pick 8. So Kyle Trask, if somebody wants him bad enough, maybe they trade back into the first round somewhere in the 30s and they get Kyle Trask. But it's debatable at this point. He's going to need to keep it up. Moving on to Kyle Pitts, who is probably the most intriguing part of this trio. He had 4 receptions today, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14.3 for his average reception, 12 receptions total on the year, 227 yards, 6 touchdowns in 8 quarters. There are NFL tight ends who don't get 6 touchdowns in a year. Actually, most of them don't. So if your NFL tight end has 6 touchdowns in a season, that's a pretty good season. And it's basically what you want in a reliable pass-catching tight end who isn't your option 1. Whatever NFL team gets Kyle Pitts is going to, I don't want to say transform the offense, but it's going to definitely make them better. It's going to make your quarterback more accurate. The catch radius zone on this guy is immense. He's an absolute danger in the red zone. It's going to be difficult to scheme and target against. I mean, just the fact that he had 6 touchdowns in the first 6 quarters, didn't score in the second half today, but he looks the part. And I got to be honest with you. Right now, it's a tie for tight end 1 between him and Pat Freiermuth. Now, Pat Freiermuth we haven't seen play yet because we're still waiting on the Big Ten to come back. And there's reason to believe that Pat Freiermuth comes back once the Big Ten starts and he ascends and he just blows Kyle Pitts out of the water. Totally possible. Has the talent to do it. But for right now, Kyle Pitts is my tight end 1. And I'm going to be super bold and say, given the talent, that he is a top 15 first round draft pick. And my sort of justification for that is if TJ Hawkinson can be a top 10 selection, there's no reason that Kyle Pitts can't be a top 15. We've seen it happen before. We've seen large target athletic tight ends go in the first round that high. Eric Ebron, it's happened. There's precedent for it, is basically what I'm trying to say. So Kyle Pitts continues to be an intriguing prospect for the 2021 draft. Moving on, we have Toney, the wide receiver. 6 receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown today, bringing his totals up to 11 for 145 and 2 scores. The stats don't blow you away in the first 2 games. The total over 2 games is probably what you want to see from a prospect, in one game. But he's not Jamar Chase. But he is a very intriguing weapon that can be utilized in a number of different ways, creates plays in space, and is definitely a guy who's ascending in the ranks. Now, this is a very loaded wide receiver class. We already have the aforementioned Jamar Chase, who is the locked-in 1A. He's going to be the first wide receiver off the board no matter what, even though he's not playing this year. We have a ton of other guys like Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, the guy from Ohio State, Chris Olave, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Rashad Bateman, Rondale Moore, Vasher. There's a whole bunch of wide receivers. This wide receiver class is going to be really, really good. Might be better than the wide receiver class we had 2 years ago. But so for right now, the best I can probably do, with all those names out there, is probably wide receiver 10. And that's not that bad, because wide receivers, there's a lot of them that get picked in the draft. And we're probably looking at 6, 7, maybe even 8 in the first round this year. It's just that good of a class. I think you're definitely going to see Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Rondale Moore, Rashad Bateman, all are first round locks. And then you got the other guys who are going to have to work their way in to solidify, but they're still very, very, good possibilities to be first round selection. So we're going to see a lot of wide receivers go in the first round. And Toney's going to have to do a lot more to sort of jump into that group. Now, top 10 is still pretty good because you're looking somewhere around middle second round. So that's not bad for a wide receiver through 2 games in the season. And that is our look today at the Florida offense, the trio down there for the Gators. It was a good game. It's exciting to watch. I can't wait to see the next one. As far as tonight goes, locking in the Georgia versus Auburn game, 7 NFL teams are sending scouts down there tonight to watch that. So very excited. And as of this recording, no idea who's playing quarterback for Georgia. So that'll be interesting to watch too. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.